Hey guys, it's Micah from Sapulpa Times.
And Lucy with the City of Sapulpa.
All right, thanks for joining us remotely, Luce. It is the start of summer break, and I think a lot of us are off to a miserable start.
Yeah, this rain
We've got
is awful.
kids that are off. So the kids are off of school for the very first day and get woken up to tornado sirens on their first day of summer break. So sounds like it's going awesome. But you said that you didn't actually hear the sirens. You were woken up by my Facebook post telling everybody to take shelter, right?
Yeah, so I didn't hear the sirens at all. And since I have, I get your notifications and things like that. You posted and then everyone was responding to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So that probably kept you up also because you're continuing to get pinged from that, weren't you?
No, I just turned my phone on Do Not Disturb and...
Okay. I wish I would have done the same. But my wife, she went right back to bed. She's probably still asleep because, it's her first day off of work also. So she's enjoying it as much as she can. But so aside from I feel like I should kind of take a moment here to just talk a little bit about how tornado sirens work, because we had some questions here. So I think people are under the impression that there is somebody here locally at the city who is standing next to the button or something to kick that thing off just whenever they feel like it. And Lucy, that is not true, right? I know you guys don't have, like Joan Riley, our city manager, is not hitting the tornado sirens, right?
No, I was actually reading the comments this morning and I was like, I got that from the comments. I was like, we don't even have access to that. I know that our police can test them, but that's the only access we have to them.
Yeah, and those tests happen on Wednesdays at noon, right?
Yeah, so it's not even something that they go out there and turn them on. It's something that's pre-scheduled. So
okay, so for those of you who are wondering, I did do a little bit of research because people were asking about it. So from what I can tell, a tornado watch is activated by the Storm Center in Norman, Oklahoma, and they will do that just when the conditions are right for some possible severe weather. So that's what will happen if we're under a severe weather watch or a tornado watch like that. But tornado warning actually gets activated by the National Weather Service. And that happens basically anytime that a tornado warning funnel cloud, one of those two things, is actually seen on radar in our vicinity. And so we actually had this happen a couple of weeks ago when I don't even think a tornado touched down, but there was a funnel cloud or a rotation that was spotted over in Mounds. And that actually set off our sirens, even though by that time the storm was moving away from us. And if there was a tornado, we weren't going to get hit by it.
mm-hmm.
But so that's how that works. It was in our vicinity. So, right after the sirens went off, Channel 6 said that we were under a tornado warning. So I'm assuming that there was some rotation that was spotted somewhere, but I still haven't been told where that was or if there was any kind of confirmation. I don't think there was. So anyway, did you happen to run out to the porch or anything and look, Luce?
No, I stayed in bed. I know that the one you're specifically talking about when it was in Mounds, because it was going backwards. So the rotation started to move the other way. So storm was moving one way away from us. And the rotation moved the opposite way. And so that's why our sirens were triggered. But yeah, it's done by the National Weather, whatever, Center. There you go. I was like, what's that other word? And so we don't even know when it's going to happen. And I mean, it's inconvenient for everyone if there's not a tornado, but the city, we don't control it. So.
Right. Sapulpa doesn't control the weather, y'all.
Or the sirens.
Or the sirens, correct. Okay, so we got Pamela Jones that just commented here and said that there were no sirens up Highway 97 in Prattville. And I did, however, see a comment that someone who lives off of 81st and Highway 66 said they heard the sirens. So there must have been a delineating line there,
mm-hmm.
Highway and was the line of separation or something there. But anyway, so okay, aside from the tornado siren and the jolt that everybody got when they woke up this morning, we got hit with a pretty good hailstorm yesterday. And Lucy, I don't think I've seen any pictures from you. Did you guys get hail?
Yeah, so it's actually like golf ball size. So around here, we were supposed to have t-ball practice. And so the whole group was like blowing up and sending pictures of their skies around their houses and like, oh, I think it's coming. I don't know if it's coming. And we have a mom that lives, near, well, I say mom, we have a family that lives near the fields. And so she kept saying like, I don't know, it's coming, it's coming. And then it just obviously to everyone else too, it like blew out, came out of what felt like nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually was at home and it had rained and everything. And then I was like, oh, okay, it stopped. So I went to the grocery store because I needed some stuff for dinner. And while I was in there, they were talking about how all their, like, it just started beating around and all this stuff. And then there was like multiple people in there that were like, what? We just had hail. And so I didn't even realize that it had hailed until after I went to the grocery store and got home. And while my dinner was on the stove, I was on Facebook.
So we had the hailstorm. You weren't even aware of it until you got back home.
Right, until I got back home. And then people had like busted windshields and super dented up cars. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just out on the road in my car.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Seems like there was several folks who were just kind of out. Not like my neighbor, he was driving on his way home from Cushing, didn't even know that it had happened until he saw the hail in his yard when he got home.
Yeah, so that was kind of like I got home, pulled in the garage, came in, saw everyone's Facebook, so I went outside and I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not hear that?
Yeah, it does seem like we're hearing like a wide range of sizes and damage that have been done by the hail. Like in my particular case, I don't think there was any damage done to our car, even though the hail got pretty good size. You can see some of the pictures on the Sapulpa Times Facebook page if you guys are interested. A lot of you have been sending in your photos. I'm going to continue to update that gallery today, but it looks like the closer to Tulsa it got, the bigger the hail got. By the time that South Tulsa was getting hit, they were calling it baseball-sized, and I think there was a lot more damage in that area. We did hear about a few folks here in Sapulpa who had a busted windshield, but I think that was just a couple. So hopefully all of you who are watching didn't get too much damage today. All righty. Well, that kind of covers it as far as the weather and stuff. Oh, I do want to let you know. So I was talking to our resident weather expert, Christy Howard yesterday. And she did tell me that we have what looks to be another severe round of weather that is making its way towards us. Should be possibly tomorrow, Thursday, into Friday. And so we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And if we need to do a weather update, we will do that at that time. So we'll just kind of you guys get your preparations ready. It is Memorial Day weekend, which is notorious for severe weather in Sapulpa. So, just be ready and prepared and know what you're going to do ahead of time. And we will keep you advised at the latest on that. So you guys be sure to stay tuned. We've got some really important stuff that we got to talk about a little later on. And so if you're one of those who likes to kind of cut out early, I'm going to encourage you to hang on the line here for just a little bit. But in the meantime, let me switch over to the other scene, and Lucy can start talking about some tough news that we got on Monday City Council meeting was the passing of David Byer, who a lot of folks will know is a longtime Parks board member. And so, Lucy, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so David has been active and involved with our Parks board specifically, which is called Park Friends. He's raised a ton of money, and just I had talked to Joan about it a little bit, and she said that anytime something was coming forward or they were going to present something, she always talked to David about it. Because he always had every question. And so she was always able to be prepared just by talking with him about the questions that he had. And he was so interested and invested in the community. And it is a big loss to the whole community but definitely to our park board and all of our park friends. So we actually had planned and had it on the agenda for a proclamation where we announced that we would be naming the new trail system that's out there. There's 4 different individuals that went out and diligently raised money and put their heart and hard work into the trail and making that happen. And so we had that proclamation on the agenda. We got that news Monday morning. And so Carson had some very sweet words, which Carson is our parks director who worked with David, regularly for these things. And so he had some words about David there at the council meeting, and where we announced that we would be naming part of the trail after David. And so it was tough to get that news just before the announcement was made. We didn't do that just because he had passed away. We actually had planned that before. So we are, thinking about their family and thinking about the Parks Department as a whole as we go through this transition, and know that David will be very missed on our park board.
Okay. Yeah. I've known David for a few years, and of course, his wife is actually Vicky Bayer, who is the former city councilor.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, David is one of those folks that contributed a lot to our community, and I don't think we're even going to fully realize what all he did for us, except that now that he's gone, we'll see what kind of hole he left. So anyway, thank you for that, Lucy. We appreciate that. That proclamation will be on the Sapulpa Times website in the story that we've got coming out later today, if you guys are interested in learning more about that. In other news, kind of something on a little bit of a lighter note here, we've got the golf tournament coming up. That is the annual Sapulpa Chamber Golf Tournament. And I understand that we've got some sponsorships and things like that are still available. And Lucy, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the chamber, like Micah said, it's annual. We do this every year. I've been a part of it. Actually, when I was heavily practicing and working in real estate, I actually sponsored a hole every year. And so it's kind of cool now to be on the other side and actually planning the event and just not showing up and hanging out at the event. But it's going to be so much fun. It will be on the 14th at Rock Creek Golf Course, where we always host it because we are Sapulpa. But we have a few sponsorship opportunities left. You can be a hole sponsor. We've got gold sponsors, platinum sponsors, title sponsors, and each of those levels, they come with teams and they come with players that get to actually play in the tournament. So you'll get to be on advertising materials and different things like that. I did find out that we are down to 1 spot left for AM flight, and we have 15 spots left in our PM flight. So if you and some buddies want to get together and just put together a team and come hang out and play, we would love to see you there. And if you have somebody that would sponsor you and, they want to get some publicity for their business, we would love to have you in that aspect as well. So there's going to be some fun different games going on. Obviously, we will have our longest drive and the longest putt, I believe is what that one's called. I was going to say best putt, but I'm pretty sure it's longest putt. But anyway, those are 2 different pretty standard games for a golf tournament. And I did learn that in previous years we had been donated things like ice chest and cool other fancy things, maybe not necessarily for golf, but this year the longest drive is going to win a Scotty Cameron putter. So,
nice.
These door prizes and gifts aren't just small items, they're worth your money. So I definitely recommend that you get out there and support Sapulpa, support the chamber, and get some publicity and have a great day out on the golf course.
Okay, thanks for that. The other item that we wanted to talk about, now you've got some time to sign up for the Chamber Golf Tournament, but
Yes.
The other one that I wanted, oh, sorry, did you have something else to say there?
No, yeah, we just have, there's still time to sign up for it.
Okay.
Especially teams, but sponsors, if you want your business to be out there on all the materials, like we definitely need you to go ahead and sign up now.
Okay. The other event that I wanted to remind everybody about, though, was the upcoming Music on the Square. Now, I know, again, it is Memorial Day weekend. A lot of you guys are maybe planning a road trip or going to the lake or something like that. If you're going to be around here, I would highly recommend that you come out on Saturday and check out the new Music on the Square event. This is going to be happening all summer long, once a month, and it will be, the first one will feature music by Josh Yarborough. Now, this lineup of musicians that they have for these events this summer is pretty great, actually. I think some of these guys, like Chris Holder, I talked to him, and more than one of these guys, he said, ought to be able to fill up a stadium. I mean, that's how good they are. So the fact that we're going to get them here to play at Herald Square in downtown Sapulpa is beyond amazing. So these are completely free to attend. They're going to be kid-friendly events, so be sure to bring your family, bring your lawn chairs. There will be food trucks. There will probably be games and things like that as well. And then just lots to do and great music. So that's happening on Saturday at 6 p.m. on the 25th. And so be sure to come out and enjoy that. And I do want to point out again, that is sponsored at least partly by Roofing with Thomas. So you guys saw the logo that was making its way across the screen earlier when we started the show. And Roofing with Thomas is a great sponsor of a lot of different things in the community, so we appreciate that. But so anyway, that is the newsy news, and then I'm going to let Lucy go as we move on to some other things, unless you have anything else to say.
I do not. The only other event that I was going to throw out there, but I realized it's a little bit further, is the Rock Creek Festival. So
that's another one
before the golf tournament, and I was literally thinking the golf tournament was like in a week. So, but it's not. Yeah. It's like 3 weeks.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thank you for that. We'll be sure to update people more on the Rock Creek Festival on Friday for sure.
All right.
More about that. So, thanks, Lucy. Have a great day.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, guys. Let me kick it over to. We're not gonna go to Jonathan yet. I am going to talk about something that's pretty important here. A couple different things. First of all, if you have not registered to vote or you need to update your registration to vote, you've got until May the 24th to be able to do that. So be sure to go do that while you still can. It is just a couple of days now. So this is actually to vote in the upcoming June election. And we do have a Creek County commissioner up for election on that. And there may also be some other like state offices and things like that. So here's what you need to do. Go to election.ok.gov and find your information there. You can find out how to register to vote, how to update your registration. You can get a sample ballot and find out pretty much all the information you're going to need to know in order to vote, okay? So that was that. I also want to tell you about something that it's not really breaking. It's been formulating over the last several weeks, and we finally got enough information to really talk about this. So there is a big situation happening between the city of Sapulpa and Creek County right now. So there is a program called the PSAP program, and it is basically what determines when you call 911, where that call goes, and then who takes care of that call. And so Sapulpa covers not only the Sapulpa corporate limits, but it also covers a good 20,000 residents outside the corporate limits of Sapulpa when it comes to things like fire runs and medical calls and things like that. So basically, the idea behind it is that even if you don't live in Sapulpa, but you call 911, Sapulpa handles your 911 call, and then they send Sapulpa Fire out to cover your property if your house is on fire or something like that. So there has been a change from the 911 authority now that has changed the jurisdiction for what they call the PSAP boundaries to Creek County. And so basically what this means is Sapulpa was getting a set of funding from those 911 calls at the state level. That funding is now going to be going to Creek County, which means that now Sapulpa has to charge the county in order to run a fire truck out there. The county, as of now, and this is a big convoluted story. We've got a bigger story with much more information coming out a little bit later today. I'm giving you kind of the Cliff Notes version of this. But as of now, the county has not sat down to work out an agreement with the city of Sapulpa on how to handle this situation. And so what this essentially means at the moment is that 20,000 people inside the Sapulpa PSAP range, but outside of the Sapulpa corporate limits, could see a disruption to their fire runs and things of that nature. So when you call 911, there could be a delay in response. And at this point, we're not even sure who would answer that call if it was a fire. And so that is me speaking on a personal basis. Maybe they know, but I don't, and I haven't been told. We tried to reach out to the Creek County commissioners on this. We haven't actually gotten back from them yet, heard back from them. We've had a number of meetings about this over at the city council meetings. I've got all kinds of documentation that kind of spells out what has happened and a timeline of how things have happened. So the city has made an effort to try and sit down with the county to try and work out a deal with this and to bring them to the table and negotiate a rate here. And the county has been unwilling to sit down at the table with them so far, is what I've been told. And so anyway, that changes on July 1st. And so the county has basically until then to either come to an agreement with the city or to have a second option in place. City of Sapulpa believes that the county doesn't really have the infrastructure in place to be able to handle the situations that might arise from that. So basically them and all the other municipalities involved, which would include Drumright and Manford and Bristow, they've all asked the county not to change this, and they've asked the 911 authority not to change the boundaries in order to prevent a disruption of service. But this is where we're at now. So it's definitely happening, it looks like. And those municipalities are starting to let their residents know about a possible change or a possible disruption of service that's coming. So anyway, guys, if you're not subscribed to the SapulpaTime.com, I would go ahead and do that so that you can stay in a loop with this sort of thing. This is a very big deal. It could affect about 20,000 people just in the Sapulpa area. And then, of course, another several thousand just around the other municipalities of Creek County. And so I am going to go ahead and well, I don't have my thing. Don't I have it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So anyway, if you guys are not subscribed to Sapulpa Time, this is a great reason to do so. Just go down to sapulpatime.com/subscribe and hit the subscribe button and sign up for $4.99 a month to stay in a loop on a story just like this one. We're going to continue to follow this and unravel this just as much as we can, and we'll get you the advice and the information that you need. We've got some other situations, some other, what's the best way to say it? Some other possible effects and ramifications of this ruling that have yet to really kind of be sussed out. So we're working on getting the information for those. And as soon as we know, we will bring that to you as well. But for now, you need to know if you're watching this program and you are not inside of Sapulpa corporate limits, but you are currently still being provided fire service by Sapulpa, there's a chance that that might be disrupted come July 1st. So reach out to your county commissioner and be sure to talk to them about this situation. And then again, pay attention to Sapulpa Times. We will have more for you as we get it. Okay. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to kick it over to Jonathan now for the scripture of the day, and then we will be back.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time for Scripture of the Day. And now the good one coming to you from Proverbs 22, verse 4, the Passion Translation. And it says this: laying your life down in tender surrender before the Lord will bring life, prosperity, and honor as your reward. If you're going through life today and you think, man, how come I'm not successful? How come this is happening to me? And how come that's happening to me? How come I can't just get my life going? How come I can't get my life on the right track? Well, here it is. Lay your life down to the Lord. Start a relationship with Jesus Christ. Let him come in and show you and give you direction. And I promise you, when you do that, it'll bring prosperity and honor as your reward. We love rewards, and God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Have a blessed day. I'm Jonathan, and I'm out.
Okay, thanks for that, Jonathan. Guys, just given the nature of today's show and how we kind of ended that on a somber note, I made the decision not to do a dad joke for you. So I know some of you guys tune in just to hear those jokes, but given that we ended the show on kind of a serious note, I just wanted to kind of let that hang for a little bit. So anyway, you guys be sure to stay tuned with Sapulpa Time. We will be back on Wednesday for Free Coffee Friday to give you all the news and tell you everything happening in the town that we love. We'll see you guys then. Have a good